Hi, good afternoon. The 9th of July today. Dull but very warm. We're forecasted a little drop rain. The sky looks as if it's going to rain. But the weather's been quite kind to us. I know a lot of people around the country have had really heavy torrential rain. We've had odd outbursts of it, but not prolonged. Nothing like torrential that would cause flooding. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about tomatoes, a little bit of maintenance on the tomatoes. While we're here, I've also been cleaning stock plants up. We'll have a quick look. I've had quite a few questions about when do I shave my heads, or how do I shave my heads, what am I looking for. It's still a tad early, but I will show you what's transpiring in there. I've had a lot of people saying, when do I wrap my leeks up to blanch them for the shows. I'll also show you that because we've just started to mess on with that. Bees are buzzing around very well, they're very active. I've got 2 hives, they're really busy, and they've been really busy in all the allium heads inside, the onions and the leeks. But we'll take a little look and we'll address it as we go around. Right, tomatoes. If you remember, I think it's about 2 weeks ago, I was down here. I haven't got a lot of time to feed. I only come in maybe once a week and to maintain them, or even once a fortnight. There's a couple got away on me which I'm going to show you about. But first of all, we'll just take a look in the pot. If you remember, I used a fertilizer called Terra Plus. That's all dissolved now. It is like it's like a granular foam. Within a couple of weeks it produces fungi which are beneficial to the plants. You can just see the fungi on the top there. That breaks down and drops in and feeds the plants. So the plants are doing fairly well. They're a lovely colour in the foliage, plenty of fruit forming, and they are looking pretty good. While we're on, the first thing we look for is, we should be looking for suckers all the time. This is a small one that I've pulled off this morning. It doesn't take long for that small one to turn into a very large one. Like we see here, this one's even got a truss on it. So there we go. That was at the back of the plant. I missed that a fortnight ago, and it just shows you it's 2.5 foot long already. That would take fertilizer and feed away from the rest of the plant, and it's best to get it off as quick as you can. I'm just going to take a quick look. I had a knife out here at the moment. There we are. I've been on tying them in. I'm just going to show you one or two things. Just get up here. Right. People say, which ones do I take off? This one's forked off into 2 at the top, as we see. What you do is you look for the main one, which is the main branch, the main stem coming up here, all the way up. And if you see, it has a truss on, a truss forming here. So we want to leave that one and remove this one. Don't try and pull them off sideways, because it gets to this size, they will tear and they'll take stem away from the main branch, and you can get disease in. So that's a fairly large one that I've removed there. And as you can see, that's been cut off. That's left the rest being tied in. This one's been tied in. So just keep a check out all the way. There's another one along here. Again, fairly large side should start to break away. Just take a knife to it. Come in from both sides if you need to, and remove that as well. So keep a check on side shoots, especially around behind the plant. You can now defoliate a little bit. Excuse me. I have removed a little bit of the foliage, 2 or 3 leaves off the bottom of the plants, basically because they were that big. They were stopping me from getting in watering properly. So we just removed those. You could take foliage further up the plant if you wish, but there's no need to. It is still photosynthesizing and feeding the plants, and they're all looking kind of nice there. But they've all been defoliated all the way along the bottom, just to make my life easier for watering. So you can do that at the present moment. Trusses. Watch out for the size of the truss you're getting. This variety is Maisie. Just to show you what sometimes happens. It's not a common practice, but we do see it fairly regular. A small growth starting on the end of the truss. That needs to be removed. And actually this is quite a large truss. It's branched off into 3 or 4. So I'm going to remove this particular plant. I've actually taken 2 or 3 flowers off there, as you can see. There's quite a few on, so I'm actually going to remove a few more. Now I know the exhibition lads who are looking for exhibition tomatoes, they would probably reduce a truss like this down to 5 or maybe 6 fruit. I'm only looking for fruit for the house and for the family, so I'll let them come. I'm going to remove some of the end flowers off just to make it into a sensible branch, and to make sure they all pollinate and come away as nice tomatoes. Right, I think we're okay there now. Furthermore, a lot of people say, how many trusses do you let come on your plant? It always depends upon the space that you have. I've got good space here. These are about 7 foot tall. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 trusses on that plant, possibly 9 on the next one. So what I've done here, I've come along and I've actually stopped them, which means the last trusses, where's the camera? That's it, the last truss is there, and as you see, I've just gone on the branch above and I've cut the top out, the growing tip, and that allows the plant to grow. There's the one there. I'll do the same. If you look up on that one, I'll go up above the truss, remove that. I've just left the flowers. They haven't started to open as yet, but they will do, and that's stopped. It should stop it from growing. The only thing when you do this, you take the top growth out, you tend to find that the plant will start to produce a few more side shoots. So keep a close check on that. Water on a regular basis. Don't overwater. You could get blight. Make sure you water regularly to stop blossoming and rot. Possibly a little bit of calcium at the moment. I'm not doing that, as I say. There is calcium in the Terra Plus that I put on. I'll see how these perform. If I need to give a second dressing of Terra Plus, I wouldn't hesitate. Maybe just an ounce or 2 around the plant, and that'll just help to keep it going. If you're using liquid feeds, just continue with what you're doing there. No issues, no problems. Right, moving along from the tomatoes. These are new varieties of Blanche leek seedlings which I'm growing, and they are growing very nice. I've had the covers off quite a few this week, just removing flags like this. As you can see, it's starting a yellow, so that could be removed. They're growing away very nicely, and again, there's one really putting the weight on. There's some very nice plants in amongst these, and I am very hopeful that we're going to get new varieties for the near future. You'll hear the dogs barking. They're having a little go. I'm just going to put this on hold for the moment, and we'll see who's here. Right, they've gone. The dogs have stopped barking. Right, we're in amongst the onions. These are exhibition onions for stock. I've got 2 different onions in here. There's one which is a real heavyweight, and one which produces fairly good, well, really good quality bulbs, but it still grows to 27, 28 inches around. We look, the heads are coming along very nicely. You can see the bees working. There's loads of bees in here, but obviously they're from the hives, working very well. And there's some really nice, some 7 or 8 foot high heads there, looking really good. You see the pollen on them. Right, a lot of people are now growing from pips. This was a particularly good bulb. It was just 1 onion. It's produced 2 heads. It's coming away very nicely. The onion bottoms are still growing. They're coming away very nicely. Well, if we follow that up, here's the one that I've actually shaved. I've just removed all the seed from it. They were just starting to produce seed on the top, and once they produce seed, they tend not to produce pips. So I removed the seed off. There's the second one. It's off the same bulb. So I've removed that complete onion to try and get pips on that, and we'll follow that and see how it goes. We are possibly a week or 2 early to do so, but the bees are so busy in working on it, I'm frightened that they all produce seed and I don't get any pips on them. Moving along the, well, Blanche leeks on that side, pot leeks on this side. The heads are all opening now. You can see the sheaths on them. They're all doing fairly well. 1 or 2 haven't opened yet. You can see the sheaths still on them. I've been in this morning cleaning and removing the dead sheath off the top. There's the one you see. If it wants to come off, let it. If it doesn't want to, well, leave it on. I don't like to produce a wound underneath. That's just about ready. Yeah, that's just fallen off. That just allows the bees to get in there, and it allows the head to open, the flower head. Moving down the plant, you can see these are all sheaths that I've taken off. So they were all like covering the flower head. Right, moving down, we can see nice clean stem. These have been cleaned up all the way along. This one hasn't. I'll just remove some just to show you. This is what happens if you don't remove it, and the first signs of a little bit browning on the base there, we make sure we get that off. I don't want any browning in the plant. Do with a camera person here, it's not so good working with one hand. Never mind, we're getting there. These remove very easily. There we are, nice and clean. Yeah, one sec. Right, I'm going to put you on hold again as someone else just arrived. 1 second. Right, we're back again. A few more visitors. Right, as I was saying, nice and clean. On your stock plants, you may see some little side shoots coming out, like this. These are, well, sometimes they come up as king pods. We produce on the bottom and they come up as king pods. I might be able to find some as we're going around. There's the one, look, that was produced king pod, so it hasn't thrown the side shoot up, but sometimes they start growing and they do throw a side shoot up like this. That's not a problem. I would look after those as well, because here's a one, if we look as we go up, and it's produced a tiny little head, and that head will produce, there's another one at the back there, over here, they will produce heads much later than what these will, and there's nothing wrong because they're small. They will make equal plants at a later date. They'll be perfect. Right, as for shaving the heads, still a little bit early for the leek heads. Within 2 or 3 weeks I'll probably look to, there's the bees again on some of these, but in 2 or 3 weeks I'll probably look to come down and possibly shave some of these heads. We'll come back and show you those. Right, I'll quickly look along and we'll go into the trench where the pot leeks are growing, and I've just wrapped some up, so we'll show you those. There's the bees, nice and busy. You can hear that lovely humming sound there. Well pleased with those. Right, these aren't quite big enough yet to put the wraps on, so they haven't been done. The ones that are big enough, clean the bottom around, take any of the damaged foliage, split foliage off, and start wrapping them up. This is elasticated black felt that I'm using, and it's great for wrapping them up. Now I do have a slightly different, these are the virus free, but it's broken off into like 2 different types of Cumbrian. This is a different one, so this style of leek, it is very slightly tapered, whereas the other ones are very straight. This one's got a little bit extra length to what the other one has. So these ones I've just used underlay, felt underlay from the house. It's brand new, and I've cut it into strips 6 inches deep and wrapped them. There's another one there. That's just to show you, this is the same style of leek which will be wrapped in underlay. That's just to show you what they're actually looking like. I mean, they're not heavily wedged, they are just very slightly tapered. I've removed some foliage off there down to a clean base, and that's ready to be wrapped up as well. Keep your sprays up, keep a check on your watering. We've seen some stock plants. Because I was late in planting the onions and some of the leeks out that didn't get done, so I'm now just stripping these beds, make sure they're nice and clean of weeds, and we're starting to put, I've got cabbages, winter cabbage, autumn collies. I've just put some lettuce in this morning. I've got some more. We've put some Mexican peppers in here. I've got some climbing dwarf beans to go in. What else? There's a few, I've done some basil and things like that. So we'll be setting that in the next week or two. Again, I'll come back and show you. That's fine for today. Thanks folks. Any questions, just bang them in and we'll try and answer them the next time I'm here. Thank you now. Bye bye.